Cut dopamine without quitting life. That's what the ancient Stoics understood about attention training long before we had terms like dopamine detox or knew anything about neurotransmitters. They developed practical methods to reclaim focus without retreating to a cave or abandoning their responsibilities. The modern attention crisis isn't about technology itself. It's about how we've surrendered our mental sovereignty to endless stimulation. Every notification, every scroll, every quick hit of novelty trains your brain to crave the next micro-reward. The Stoics would recognize this pattern immediately. It's the same loss of self-control they warned about, just dressed in digital clothing. This 7-day reset isn't about eliminating pleasure or becoming a monk. It's about recalibrating your attention system using principles that have worked for 2,000 years. You'll learn to distinguish between chosen enjoyment and compulsive consumption, between genuine engagement and mindless reactivity. Day 1 begins with the morning attention audit. Before you reach for your phone or open your laptop, spend 10 minutes observing your mental state. Notice the pull toward stimulation, the subtle anxiety about what you might be missing. This isn't judgment, it's data collection. The Stoics called this prosopsis, continuous attention to the present moment. Write down 3 specific urges you notice. Maybe it's checking email before your feet hit the floor or scrolling social media during breakfast. These aren't moral failings, they're simply habits that have hijacked your attention. The first day's practice is simple. Delay your first digital interaction by 1 hour. Use that hour for activities that require sustained focus: reading, writing, exercise, or even just sitting with your thoughts. You're not avoiding technology forever, just creating a buffer zone where your attention belongs to you alone. When you do engage with devices, notice how different it feels when it's a conscious choice rather than a default behavior. Day 2 introduces the concept of attention boundaries. The Stoics understood that we become what we repeatedly attend to. Today, you'll create specific windows for high stimulation activities. Check email 3 times morning, lunch, and evening. Social media gets 2 15-minute windows. Everything else stays closed. This isn't about restriction, it's about concentration. When you batch similar activities, your brain doesn't waste energy switching between different types of tasks. During the spaces between these windows, practice what Marcus Aurelius called or retreat into yourself. This doesn't mean meditation, though that's fine if you prefer it. It means engaging with activities that build rather than scatter attention, reading for at least 30 minutes, having a conversation without devices present, or working on a project that requires sustained focus. Notice how your mind rebels at first, creating phantom notifications and imaginary urgencies. Day 3 tackles the dopamine confusion. Your brain doesn't distinguish between achievement-based rewards and passive consumption rewards. Both release dopamine, but only one builds genuine satisfaction. Today you'll practice earning your dopamine hits. Before any leisure scrolling or entertainment, complete one focused work session of at least 45 minutes. Before checking social media, finish one household task you've been avoiding. This isn't punishment, it's rewiring your reward system to favor accomplishment over consumption. The afternoon of day 3 introduces negative visualization, a Stoic practice that strengthens attention by imagining loss. Spend 10 minutes considering life without constant connectivity. Not as a disaster, but as a different way of being. What would you do with the recovered time? Which relationships would deepen? What projects would finally get finished? This exercise reveals how much mental real estate you've ceded to digital demands. Day 4 addresses the social pressure around constant availability. The Stoics knew that other people's expectations could enslave us if we let them. Today, you'll practice strategic unavailability. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Set an auto-responder explaining that you check messages at specific times. Tell close contacts how to reach you for genuine emergencies. Most people respect boundaries once you set them clearly. This day also introduces the practice of single tasking. Choose 3 important tasks and complete them sequentially with full attention on each. No background music, no quick checks of other tabs, no multitasking mythology. when your mind wanders, and it will gently return attention to the task. This isn't about perfection, it's about practice. Each return to focus strengthens your attention muscles. Day 5 explores the difference between leisure and escape. The Stoics enjoyed life's pleasures, but distinguished between chosen enjoyment and compulsive avoidance. Today, plan your leisure intentionally. If you want to watch something, choose it in advance. If you want to browse social media, set a timer and stick to it. The goal isn't to eliminate entertainment, but to make it conscious rather than default. This day also introduces the evening review, adapted from the Stoic practice of reflection. Before sleep, spend 10 minutes reviewing your attention patterns from the day. Where did you succeed in maintaining focus? Where did old patterns reassert themselves? Write brief notes without judgment. You're gathering intelligence about your own mind, not prosecuting a case against yourself. Day 6 addresses the root of attention problems, the inability to be alone with our thoughts. The Stoics considered this the foundation of wisdom. Today includes 3 10-minute sessions of doing absolutely nothing. No meditation techniques, no breathing exercises, just sitting with whatever arises. This isn't empty time, it's when your brain processes information, makes connections, and generates insights. The discomfort you feel reveals how dependent you've become on external stimulation. The rest of day 6 focuses on deep work. Choose one project that matters to you and spend at least 2 hours on it without interruption. This might feel impossible at first. Your brain will generate dozens of urgent reasons to stop. This is withdrawal from constant stimulation, and it's temporary. Push through, and you'll rediscover the satisfaction of sustained concentration. Day 7 integrates everything you've learned into a sustainable practice. The goal was never to eliminate technology or become a productivity robot. It was to reclaim sovereignty over your attention. Design your ideal day with specific times for focused work, chosen leisure, and necessary digital tasks. Build in buffer zones between different types of activities. Create rules that support your goals without being rigid. The Stoics knew that freedom wasn't about having no constraints. It was about choosing the right constraints. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Every app, platform, and device is engineered to capture and monetize it. This isn't a conspiracy, it's business. The question is whether you'll remain a passive consumer of stimulation or become an active director of your focus. This reset isn't a one-time fix. It's the beginning of a practice. Some days you'll maintain perfect focus. Other days you'll fall into old patterns. The Stoics called this the discipline of desire, learning to want what's truly valuable rather than what's merely stimulating. Each time you choose focused attention over scattered stimulation, you strengthen your capacity for deep engagement with life. The paradox is that by limiting empty stimulation, you increase genuine enjoyment. Food tastes better when you're actually hungry. Conversations become richer when you're fully present. Work becomes more satisfying when you can sustain attention long enough to enter flow states. You haven't cut dopamine from your life. You've redirected it toward experiences that build rather than deplete you. The ancient Stoics developed these practices without knowing the neuroscience behind them. They simply observed what worked. Now we know why your brain is plastic, constantly rewiring based on what you attend to. 7 days isn't enough to completely rewire years of conditioning, but it's enough to prove that change is possible. You've experienced the difference between chosen focus and default distraction. The question now is what you'll do with that knowledge.